I was drawn to all the Swiss machines at IMTS. Like I kept walking over to Tornos and like, hey, what's going on? What's over here? What are y'all running over here? When I got the chance to move on to the Swiss side, it was probably the most incredible, but it was the most eye-opening moment that I've had in my manufacturing / machining career. At some point, I did feel like I was just a button pusher, and I was able to advocate for myself and tell them hey, I want a position change. I want to be able to run these Swiss lathes. They look crazy. They look a lot different than whatever this lathe is that I'm running. And they actually allowed me to do that, and the rest is kind of history from there.
Welcome to Making Sparks, the podcast where we ignite your passion for metal fabrication and fuel your business success. Join industry leaders and dive deep into the world of metalworking. From business insights to tips of the trade, Making Sparks is your forge of knowledge. During each episode, discover success stories, innovative solutions, and expert interviews that light the path to business growth. Subscribe today and grow and improve your company, and let's make sparks fly together.
Welcome back. And I hit my microphone.
Well, there's one. There's
one. Welcome back to Making Sparks. I'm your host, Casey Velker, sitting with my co-host virtually and another guest virtually. And I decided to one-up both of them with my cool lighting. And I was getting compliments from our guests. And so we're really excited to have a special episode today. We probably have someone more famous than me and Matthew right now on the episode. I'll have Matthew introduce her, but then we'll kind of get into it.
Yeah. Well, that's not saying much. We're selling her short by saying more famous than us, because that didn't take much. But she is really creating a name for herself and a presence on social media for sure. So yeah, it really is exciting and an honor to have her on the show with us. And so today we're going to welcome Nush Ahmed. And we work through whether it's Nush or Nush, and she's good with either. And both really cool first names. So, and she's a really cool person with a really cool background, and she's going to share that with us a little bit today. So excited! I've known of you for a while, but we've never actually met. We were just talking before we got on the show here that we missed each other at IMTS by like a day or two. So that's always.
And Matthew didn't invite me to IMTS, so I didn't even go.
Well, you got to come to FabTech.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We even landed a whole one client.
Yeah, we recorded some great. Hey, I had a call today with somebody that learned about our podcast from at FabTech. So there you go.
That's a win. That's a win.
Yeah. So, anyways, enough rambling. Let's hear from our guest today.
Well, thank you guys so much for the amazing introduction. I'm so honored. Thank you all for having me. What do we want to hear about first? Because there's so much happening.
Give us a little background. I mean, obviously you have your own podcast, but you also work in this industries. Give us a little background on you.
Yeah, I'd like just kind of go back to the beginning. I'd like to hear the Cliff Notes version of your story.
Awesome. Okay, so I started out, how are we going to start it out, actually? Well, I was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is known as a very college town, and I decided I'm not going to college. I really don't want to. Ivy League, actually, you're right, Ivy League. I was in between Harvard and MIT, and then on the other end, there was Tufts and Northeastern. I was all over the place trying to figure out where I should go. And I was struggling with knowing what I wanted to do in high school and beyond. And people kept telling me to do computer science. I was like, sure, I'll try it out. And I did not like it at all. I tried my hardest to actually get out of that class, and I wasn't able to for the first few weeks. But eventually, my counselor allowed me to take automotive, and I realized, oh, this is cool. This is nice. This makes sense. None of my classes prior to automotive have ever made sense like automotive did. I didn't really have to think as much as, math and science and all that other stuff. So I guess my teachers thought I really excelled in that, and they kept, giving me so many compliments, and they kept giving me so many compliments and boosting my confidence. So I decided maybe I should go to school for this. My parents were very supportive, actually. They were like, this teacher sees this as a really great opportunity for you, so you do it. We believe in you. I went and enrolled in NASCAR Technical Institute, where I graduated in 2023 with an automotive degree that I don't use at all. So, fun fact, I am not in the automotive industry at all, but it helped me learn what exactly I wanted to do. I knew it was very hands-on. That's what I wanted to do. And I wanted something to do with automotive, just not, changing people's oils. So when I learned about CNC machining, I realized I could mix my love for automotive and creating things and create car parts. What? And trying to wrap my head around that was a lot. So I started looking at CNC machining jobs and found one in Mooresville, which is where I was located at, making valves for race cars. And I just kind of fell in love with it from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw the NASCAR Institute on your LinkedIn, and that really jumped right out at me. We actually have a team member that's a fabricator for us, a fabrication lead that came from that background. He used to work on the pit crew for NASCAR, and so
that's what's up.
Yeah,
I was actually really cunning when I put it in my head that I wanted to go to NASCAR Tech, because to be honest, I know nothing about NASCAR, like the races, at all. I was like, I know nothing about automotive, period. Let me put something in my resume that'll really stand out to somebody who wants to hire for automotive or motorsport. This NASCAR is literally in the school's name. And it helped a lot, actually. Whether it was motorsport related or not, people know the name NASCAR and they click on my resume, they click on my profile because of that.
Hey guys, it's Nick from Making Chips. I want to give you 3 quick reasons why you should check out Mike Payne's podcast, By the Numbers. Mike, my good buddy, my partner on Making Chips, is full of wisdom. He's full of experience. He's full of what it takes to buy, sell, and lead a business, specifically a manufacturing business. So all the numbers that you should be focused on to improve your performance, that's what he's the master at. The second reason, Mike's the first person I call. If I'm looking at a new idea, a new partnership opportunity, a new acquisition, any new initiative where I need to dive into the numbers and figure out how to approach it, Mike is who I go to. And third, you got to love that buttery Tulsa King voice that Mike rocks. It just soothes your soul. It gives you the confidence to elevate your leadership. Jokes aside, if you love making chips, or if you're just passionate about improving your business performance and the financial performance of your company, check out By the Numbers by Making Chips, hosted by my good buddy, Mike Payne.
And obviously that, that was like the beginning of it, right? And you've really started building I feel like you're building a following on LinkedIn. I'd like to know more about why, like, you decided to start sharing your story, but also I know you have your podcast. I know you have some other things. Why has this became such a passion of yours to put yourself out there more?
that was a question I had too, Casey. I want to add on to that. Like, I want to know kind of the what happened or influenced you, or why the transition from machinist to, social media. I mean, I would say influencer, and you're out there influencing our industry. So what led to that shift?
So I hope we're using influencing as a good term, but
Absolutely.
okay, awesome. So I always see these TikTok people and I'm like, dang, I wish I was like that. Like, making money off of TikTok, making money off of content, posting about what I'm passionate in, that's a really great dream. And I was like, you know what, I could probably post a little bit about being in the trades and helping kids get in the trades and maybe change someone's life, because if I had something like that when I was 16, that would have changed my life. And that was what really started it. I really wanted to actually start on TikTok because, again, TikTok is so great for opportunities. People have been able to grow their whole life, like, really off of TikTok. And I realized I don't want to be bullied yet. I didn't want to be torn apart for being a woman operating a machine. So I was like, let me just post on LinkedIn. People are not bullies on LinkedIn. They want to support you. They want to help you. They want to guide you. And that's that's actually it. That's why I decided to post my first post on LinkedIn. And people apparently thought I was a bot at first. They didn't know if I was real or not. And
I would have never thought about that. That's funny.
Right? I was like, really? You thought I was a bot? Like, I thought I was doing good at posting. But the more I learned that I could interact, or the more that I learned that I should interact with people, the more I was able to grow my LinkedIn. And then I realized that's how literally all social media works. You can't just keep posting and expect yourself to get more followers. You need to follow your followers. You need to like their comments, like their posts. You need to comment on their posts, repost things, like send them things. Like, you need to be as involved in your audience as they are in you.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, I can see here you have over 5,000 followers right now, so you've done something right.
Oh my God, you guys are gonna inflate my head this whole episode.
Well,
so did you ever? I'm not on TikTok, but also I will say I understand and appreciate the power that it has. I've just chosen not to. But have you moved over to TikTok? You said you chose LinkedIn at first, and I want to come back to that too. It was interesting. You said kind of a concern for being bullied, and so you went to LinkedIn. So my question, I guess, two-part. One, have you migrated to TikTok? And then if so, have you experienced that concern that you had?
I went back to TikTok, yes. So honestly, I did post like 2 or 3 TikToks before I started posting on LinkedIn, but they didn't really do that well. So I kind of just, was like, you know what, no. But I did notice a little bit of, I wouldn't say bullying, but just like harsh comments in my comments every now and again about, being a button pusher or, being a girl and getting my job because I was a girl, which is fine. I could just delete those comments, but those have easily gotten washed out by the amount of supportive women that are in my comments. So honestly, I don't really look at that anymore, but what was the first part of your question again, actually?
Well, if you had went to TikTok, which sounds like you had. Yeah.
And you said you get a lot of comments with supportive women. That kind of goes to, I know, I'm going to give a shout out to Maggie, who helps us organize MakingSparks. And she talked to Nush about something interesting. Just yesterday, you guys talked about this, that you started a Discord channel with some women in trades. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that? And for people who are on this that maybe don't know what a Discord channel is, it's kind of, okay, so yeah, Matthew. So Matthew,
I'm the old man on the call.
Have you ever heard of Slack, Matthew?
I've heard of Slack. Yes, I've heard of Slack.
Discord is basically like identical to Slack, but it's more like, it kind of got popular because of video games, right? Mm-hmm. Nush, I can be wrong. I'm only on Discord for a couple of reasons, and really one of it was for an AI thing, for Midjourney to generate AI photos. You had to be on a Discord. You had to go on the Discord channel, enter in your prompt, and then it would give you an image. It was really weird. I don't know how Discord works because of that, but I'm not a computer guy. But yeah, so Discord is a place for people to build communities, basically.
Glad you brought that up because I saw that too on her LinkedIn and was like, that's interesting. I don't know what that is. Nick and Mike and Jason and the guys at Making Chips, they make fun of me all the time for being like the old man that is not technical. And so anyways, it's par for the course. So yeah, tell us about this.
So I want to clarify and say the Discord is actually created by 4 girls. Originally it was a Snapchat group chat created by Carly and Zoe. Carly is a pipe fitter and Zoe is a heavy equipment mechanic. And 2 crazy amazing girls that somehow brought over 200 women together on Snapchat. And this made the app very laggy. It was so hard to keep up with conversations. So Carly was like, I'm gonna make a Discord. And Hannah and I joined her in helping like mod it, figure out what kind of channels we're going to have. And it's got over 320 members right now as of a couple hours ago. And it's basically just a community of women and girls who are in the trades studying, apprenticing, or going to school and taking a trades class. And we're just connecting, learning about what we do. I think tomorrow we're having a little Valentine's Day movie stream. We just kind of chill, hang out, talk about each other's pets, what we do with our hair at work, like it's everything all in one. It's great.
That's cool. We have several women that work on the shop floor with us. And so, and some females in apprenticeship at times. So we'll have to share that with them and promote that. Yeah, we'd be happy to. We need to get, I don't know like how this works. This is how ridiculous I am. Like, can we get like a QR code that would take them to that or something, or just like a link?
There's a QR code. I think there's also an invite link. That's what we've been sending out. And I also want to mention we've been posting it on TikTok as well. Carly has gotten like 333,000 likes or something like that. Actually, no, I think I'm exaggerating. But she gotten like quite a few likes on her post. And there's over like 1,000 comments of girls wanting to get in our chat every day. And that just goes to show you how important it is for us to have this kind of community, because there is a need out there. These girls want to be in the group.
How does out of curiosity, so like I love groups like that, and Matthew has heard me talk about this. Like for me on the video side, I'm in 2 groups pretty actively on Facebook. One's like how to grow your video business, and another one's how to like sell videos at a higher rate and stuff like that. And the community on there has always been great because people post when they win, people post, awesome content, inspiration, things like that. And I like Facebook groups because it's more like a board that you're on. When I think of Discord, I think of it being an ongoing chat. Do you have any issues with like people still? I mean, I know you said on Snapchat you were having trouble with people following along. On Discord, is it pretty easy to have that more community based versus just a chat?
It's way easier. Now we can actually, so I don't know how much you know about Discord, but we have threads now. So you can, if you want like a specific conversation. So for me, I have questions about my podcast that I want to ask these girls. I put that in a specific thread and I'm like, hey, what's something you want from an employer as an example of a question? And they can answer within that thread everything,
okay,
that they want from that employer. Or there's another one that I do, or that I'm doing where it's like content creation. So it's like, send me a video of you at work or of you and your nails at work, something like that. And those will be in their designated thread so that the girls can go in there and send them directly to that area. We are also in the process of creating roles and stuff. I'm still learning about Discord and learning about all this other stuff that is coming about. But what you can do is have people put in inputs and it remembers that. Discord remembers that. And I hope I'm like explaining this correctly, but when somebody in chat like mentions an emoji or a certain input, whoever selected that input is able to get notified about whatever message they're talking about. I don't know if you guys are able to follow that, but like let's say someone was like, I'm a welder, so here's a welding emoji, and I click that. If somebody had a question and they can mention at welders, how do you do this? Discord will notify all the welders who click that welding button and they could answer that question.
That's awesome. No, that's really cool. I get it. Like, it's kind of like, almost like using hashtags. Like I know on Facebook you use hashtags on groups and stuff like that. So
you can also use hashtags in Discord too. It just hashtags you to a different like channel. Like we have channels for social media, pets, like recipes, so it'll take you to different chat rooms.
I am way out of my league here.
Well, I
am following you, Nush. I'm following you, though.
I got one more question on
really
Discord.
Interesting. But yeah.
Do you guys share jokes on there?
All the time.
Well, I got a joke, Matthew.
Casey's dad joke. Nush, he tells really bad dad jokes.
This is a good one.
Oh God, I shouldn't laugh then.
What do you call a funny tool?
A funny tool.
A punchline.
Oh, that's bad.
That was good.
It was
good.
It was so good, it took me a minute to get it.
It was good. It was almost as good as my carbonated or non-carbonated earth joke.
Yeah. That one took me a minute to get it. I'm a little slow this afternoon.
I'm very slow this afternoon. I was like, a jackass? That's what I thought.
That's a good one. The automotive background coming out here.
I don't know. I probably Googled it. I don't come up with these. I'm not that smart.
That's great. Casey's dad joke. All right. Well, moving on.
Back to our regular scheduled podcast.
Back to our regular scheduled episode.
So Nush, what do you like? Obviously, you have a passion for sharing for the younger generation, definitely women in trades. What is something like, I mean, this is a platform that you can do that right now. Like, what is something that, like, if a woman's maybe thinking about, a young lady thinking about getting in the trades, maybe getting into manufacturing or the metals industry specifically, because that's who, we talk to in our audience, what would you say to them? How should they get started? What if they're scared? Like you said you were kind of scared on TikTok to get bullied. Like, what if they're scared they're going to go into a male dominated field that they might not fit in? What would you say?
This is something that my dad, he literally called me about this earlier and told me this. But whatever you do, don't listen to the outside noise. Like, do not listen to anything that doesn't matter. If it's not coming from here or here, it doesn't matter. And I was pointing to my head and my heart when I said that, but I truly feel that way. And that also includes like family. If your family is telling you you can't do it, don't listen to them, because the only person that can tell you that is yourself. And at the end of the day, you can do it. You can do literally anything. I'm over here doing something that I never would have thought I would be doing at 16, And if you're just starting out, I would definitely get on platforms like Discord, platforms like LinkedIn. These are free platforms where you could connect with people that can help you. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, they're amazing because, again, free resources is what helped me decide to start posting on LinkedIn. All these free resources are what inspired me to make my own, basically.
Hey guys, it's Nick from Making Chips, and I gotta tell you about our new show, Lights Out. When someone talks about being lights out, what comes to mind? For me, it's Michael Jordan, he's got the ball, the game's on the line, or it's Leo Messi taking that ball up to take a penalty in a penalty shootout. These guys are elite, and they're unstoppable, and you just know they're not gonna miss. But I also think about the technology, automation, process, and most importantly, the mindset of the manufacturing leaders with the best shops in the world. Every episode will equip and inspire you to run lights out so you can sleep soundly while your shop never stops. Because we all know, if you're not making chips, you're not making money. So check out the new Lights Out podcast by Making Chips. I will see you there.
I would also say once you get down the path and you're looking for a employer, that there are certainly employers out there in the machine shop, welding, manufacturing world that are going to be more, I think, pro women. That just have a culture. Well, even beyond that, I think just cultures that are more inviting and more open to all kinds of diversity in general, not just whether it's a good environment for women or not, but that's going to be real, like, basic things too. Like, it doesn't have, when I say culturally, I don't necessarily mean like it's all feel good stuff. It's like, is there a women's bathroom in the shop? And, do they keep, are they respectful? And what kind of, what kind of temperature do they have in terms of how they interact with each other and different things, And so I always, when we have women in the shop, I like to go through about, after they've been there a week or two, and just kind of just check in and, make sure, is everyone being respectful to you? And not that you have to treat them differently or with kids gloves, but, it is, if you got, 15 or 20 men and one woman, it's like, it wouldn't matter if it's the other way around either. It's just like, hey, are you comfortable? Is everyone treating you with respect? And my point is, I think there's some employers that are going to be better suited to that than others. So, I think it's important to really be mindful about those decisions that you make. I mean, it's all about doing your homework and your diligence about where you end up.
And I think Matthew, you could hit on this too, but obviously, Nush, you've talked about, like, already you're 16 and you have.
Oh no, I'm 21. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought that you said when you're 16.
No, when I was 16, I didn't know what I was doing.
But even from 16 to 21, the experience you have and what you discovered in high school, the classes that you discovered and things like that, I think people, especially young ladies, need to realize that there's opportunities, whether it's a trade school to get involved, or an apprenticeship, or an internship. I know, like, Nick's is huge on internships, and it starts at the high school level, right? Like, they get in there, and I grew up in a time where you talk internship, you're in college at least to do an internship, maybe even an unpaid one right out of college, because whether it was jobs or something like that. So I think it's important that they know that there's opportunities to get involved right that age of like 16 and things like that.
Yeah, and also I kind of wanted to mention, because I just remembered when you mentioned that 4 years, that 4 years was so pivotal, because the trades I feel like changed my mental like health completely. I'm way different than I was at 16, because I'm way less sensitive. I'm way less critical of myself, and that is like so important to me. Like that is my biggest win of my life, to be honest. The fact that I'm less of an asshole to myself. And I think it's because I'm too busy trying to help people like find this stuff for themselves, because this really was what saved me, you know?
Yeah, we human beings, we all create our own drama. And if you fill that drama with positive things that you're passionate about, you're less likely to fill that with negative drama, right? And something else you hit on, Nush, that I think is really great, that I always try to come back to this whenever possible, is that in the trades conversation in general, doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever, we too often miss the part when we're making the argument about pro trades. We often talk about no student debt. You know, you can come out of high school or trade school or whatever making really good wages and so on and so forth. But we overlook the part about job satisfaction and fulfillment, which is what you touched on. And it can be, if it's something you're into, it can be such a fulfilling career, which impacts your mental health. I mean, we all know people that sit behind a desk every day or whatever and are just miserable and don't like what they do and dread going to work. And so I just think that's something we should promote more. It's like, hey, this can be a career that not only you can make great money at, you can be really fulfilled.
Yes. Actually, I literally just saw a TikTok not that long ago of a girl, she worked a corporate job, and I guess she was getting a phone call that she had like a paid day off, or there was a holiday or something like that. And she's literally like on her bed crying for like happiness. And she's like, we could finally go play. That is crazy. That is not the life that is not a life. Like that's just crazy to me. And I think it'd be amazing if more manufacturing and trades businesses started posting about like how their lifestyle is. That's what I'm trying to get the girls to do, also like post about a day in their life, to show not just girls, but like also girls' parents, to show them like they're not living this nasty lifestyle. Like it's successful, it's fulfilling. A lot of these mothers are able to like fend for their kids just because of their job. Actually, Hannah, one of the people that is helping us with our Discord, she's a single mother, so her story is also so powerful. And again, I want to just highlight more people like that.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So you're talking about like highlighting, and I think something I want to go ahead and give our audience the opportunity to learn about is your podcast. I know following you on LinkedIn, like a couple of things that I think is cool from a guy who, me and Matthew, just getting into the podcast for just over a year now. I love when people not only start a podcast and take a chance on it, but then also share what the journey of that podcast is, because just like you're talking about your group is a journey for women, a podcast is a journey for a lot of people. People learn so much. Like I know me and Matthew both agree on this, is I almost always listen. I'm listening to some kind of podcast once a day at least. And most of the time it's educational or in my field or some kind of inspiring business stories, occasional sports podcasts every once in a while. But, you know, just tell us a little bit about your podcast.
So my podcast is called NextGenMFG, and that can stand for manufacturing, but that could also stand for whatever you want it to stand for. And I basically just highlight young people in the trades industries, young or old, actually doesn't really matter how old they are, but I just want to highlight people who are doing really great things in the industry who have not been highlighted before, or who may think what they're doing isn't that important. And I also want to interview students in the like STEM fields to inspire more kids to enroll in like robotics courses or engineering courses in their high schools, because a lot of high schools do offer those classes instead of offering trades classes. So yeah, just to give more information out there, really. That's the purpose of my podcast. every episode I'm joined by a different guest in a different industry, and we just kind of learn about why they chose to do what they do and how other people could also start doing what they do.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. You know, is there anything else that you were wanting to kind of highlight today? Like, obviously we've talked about a lot. You know, we still got a few more minutes. Matthew, do you have any specific questions for her?
I do. I'm going to take it a whole nother direction. I want to go to the shop floor, but
Yeah.
do you have anything else, Casey, before I?
No, that's why I was looking at my cheat sheet,
Yeah.
and we actually hit them all. So
Yeah.
I'm done with my cheat sheet. So now conversation is natural.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that about your podcast, Nush. That's really exciting. And I know you're going to do super well because you've got a big following and you're hitting a topic that's relevant, timely. I think you're doing a nice job of it. So, and thanks for what you're doing to promote the trades in general. I mean, anything we can do, whether it's promoting them to women or just young people in general, it's so important. So I think that's outstanding. I want to jump over to the shop floor. So, because we talked a lot about your journey with social media and the Discord. I learned all about Discord today, which is really interesting. That's what's so cool about doing this too. Like, we learn something every time we do this. But I want to go to the shop floor because that's how all this started. You told us you were in automotive, you did the NASCAR Institute, and then you learned about machining and you could make automotive parts. And so from what my understanding is, you're a Swiss machinist, right? A Swiss turning machinist.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I'm not a machinist, I don't want to give myself that title yet. I was a Swiss machine setup technician at my last job, but I switched over to a new job, so now I'm actually a process and quality technician for a wood manufacturer, so very different. I'm actually on the shop floor a lot less than I used to be, but I get to dabble in a lot of things that I didn't think I would like get to before. And that's kind of like another thing I really want to talk about, like going from being just an operator, quote unquote, just an operator to somebody of a different.
I want to unpack that for the audience too, like especially if there's younger audience. Like I said, Swiss machinist, and I also wanted to talk about the Swiss turning because a lot of people may not, especially people in the fabrication world, know what that is. So let's hit on that. And then also you said, I'm just an operator, which I understand what you mean, but others may not. So let's hit on both of that. So Swiss machining. Let's give like the, cliff notes.
Swiss lathes are probably the coolest machine you'll ever come across, other than like a 5-axis. The ones we ran at my job were 7-axis lathes, but they can go up to 11, I believe. And I don't even know like where to begin. You can make so many different kinds of parts on a Swiss lathe.
Well, at the risk of like oversimplifying and generalizing, wouldn't you say that Swiss turning is generally very small parts and very high volume, very high speed production?
Mm-hmm.
So, you're making parts like this, not parts like this. So, if you're looking at making high volume, small parts that are turned, you cannot be competitive unless you're running a Swiss machine. They're usually
like Danny Rudolph
automated.
On Instagram. Oh yeah, they are. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I was thinking about Danny Rudolph's Instagram right now, but yeah, they're automated. They're super fast, super high tech. I was drawn to all the Swiss machines at IMTS. Like I kept walking over to Tornos and like, hey, what's going on? What's over here? What are y'all running over here? When I got the chance to move on to the Swiss side, it was probably the most incredible, but it was the most eye-opening moment that I've had in my manufacturing / machining career. I literally went from just a CNC button pusher to somebody that knew a little bit more about her CNC machine. CNC machining, if you don't know what CNC machining is, it's computer numerical control. It's a machine that has a computer attached to it and you put numbers in it and it cuts the part. That's a very simple way to explain it. A lot of people consider CNC machinists to not be tradespeople because they think all we do is work on computers and that's it. That's definitely not what it is. And I was posting on my TikTok before and showing them this is what CNC machining is. It's not click a button and go. When I was working in the valve shop, at some point I did feel like I was just a button pusher, and I was able to advocate for myself and tell them like, hey, I want a position change. I want to be able to run these Swiss lathes. Like, they look crazy. They look a lot different than whatever this lathe is that I'm running. And they actually allowed me to do that, and the rest is kind of history from there.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
super cool.
I don't know if I answered your question
No,
at all.
that's good. I think it's helpful for the audience. Some may know all this, but some may not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but also I think what you said, the feeling, like you said, it was hard for you to describe the feeling. And Matthew hit on this a few episodes ago about empowering team members to do better work because they get moved into a position that maybe, in this particular one, was a robotic welding arm when we were talking about that, or a cobot that made a guy who maybe was doing something that wasn't really challenging him. He now takes ownership in being the guy that run the cobot, right? And you kind of hit the nail on the head there, where you're saying you went from being just a button pusher to someone a little bit more, like where you got to challenge your brain, you got to do things that you're wanting to do because of the machine. It's kind of cool because of the machine you got to work on too. So
exactly. And now I'm even a little bit more involved because now I'm learning how to help my operators make their life easier. You know, I'm learning what processes make their job easier.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. At 21 years old, you are now, in a quality position. And I mean, that just goes to show, one, the opportunities that are in our industry, and two, if you really apply yourself and you're passionate, like you obviously are, and you've clearly shown your employers that you're not afraid to learn, try new things, and you're very, very committed, that there's tremendous opportunity for young folks. We have a couple of young folks at our company that are in quality positions now. They're in their early 20s. And so it's just a testament to what people can do in the trades.
And it's an ever-growing, quality is an ever-growing part of the industry. I also kind of wanted to touch on, going back to the shop floor, because I am interested in transitioning back into a job that allows me to be on the shop floor again. And I wanted to mention that I am getting a 3D printer soon. I don't know how it happened, but somehow, because of LinkedIn, I guess I was really impressive, and Al Watmo from Toolpath was like, I'll get you a 3D printer. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Are you dude, oh my God, I'm still reeling from, I can't even believe it's real, but I'm going to be learning how to 3D print parts, and I'm going to be posting about that too. So now that's that.
Yeah, so listeners, if you start posting on LinkedIn about your trade, you get free 3D printers.
Yeah, you never know.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I want
people do it on TikTok, and they get free merch. So I mean, shit, do it on LinkedIn too. See what you get.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is great. So yeah, you're getting that printer because of the influence you're going to make on that company.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, I really hope some little kid sees it and is like, oh, shoot, maybe I can make something that I really like too. Cause I only told him, I'm getting into RC cars, right? So I told him hey, I'm really bad about breaking my RC car parts, and 3D printing them would be cool. We were just having a conversation, and it turned into that. And that's what I want to show kids. You could turn your hobby into this, into this whole career. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
so
amazing.
Cool. Nush, you are one interesting person. That is,
thank
that's
you.
So cool. I hope hope our paths cross at the next IMTS.
I hope so too. I will try to be at FabTech this year. I'm trying to get that group of girls to go down there with me and just see what we could do, see what damage we could do in Chicago.
That's awesome. Well, my wife and I are both going to be speaking at FabTech, so you can come visit us.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
You can come throw fruit at me or something, but you guys should
stop.
you should go definitely, I would love for you guys to meet my wife and for her to meet you. She's very involved in our business and a big advocate for a lot of the same things that you are. And she's very involved in, recruiting talent for our organization and involved in a lot of the schools and so forth. So it'd be cool for you guys to connect.
Yes, it'd be awesome.
Well, anything else, Casey?
I think, we could probably keep talking, but I know we like to try to keep our podcast under like 45 minutes or something like that. I don't know, probably even around the 30 to 40 minutes mark. So we're going to wrap up. But for those listeners, how can they follow along with you, Nush? Obviously you mentioned LinkedIn, but just give them a rundown on if people want to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
Okay, so LinkedIn is Nush Ahmed, TikTok is 333VNush, Instagram is NushratAH. But I'm pretty sure if you Google any of those, you can find me on any of them. Spotify, NextGenMFG, and actually that's for all the other socials as well. So that's where you can find me. Website to be aired soon.
And her LinkedIn, her official name on LinkedIn is Nush Miss Swiss Ahmed.
Oh, that's
Love
right.
it.
Nush
Love
Miss
it.
Swiss.
Love it. Well, thank you for being with us. You know how we sign off our podcast. If you're not making sparks,
Yeah, definitely not making money. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Wait, redo, because we were going to...
if you're on a Swiss machine and you're making sparks, then
You're definitely not making money.
yeah. So yeah, in our world, if you're making sparks, you're making money, but not if you're running a Swiss.
Not if you're running a Swiss. Not if you're running any machine, really. Please don't make sparks on your machine. Don't be doing that.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you so much for having me.